Will, thank you very much.
Thank y'all. Go Bucks.
Okay.
Win number 5 and notebook number 5. Back in the friendly confines and back outside the Ohio State press room. Hi. We're sneaking up on Will Howard again. Another.
Some of the green juice.
What is this? What flavor is this?
Lemon lime.
Okay, lemon lime. It doesn't look like lemon lime.
Got a little special something there.
Okay, all right. Well, it looks like Oregon colors. You can't be drinking that this week.
Nah, we're not. It's still Iowa week right now until I walk out those doors.
Okay, Ohio State wins 35-7. And Will, it felt like you were standing in there for your post-game press conference and you weren't thrilled with that. Am I wrong?
Thrilled with the win?
You're thrilled with the win, but you felt like maybe, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You were just saying them. Like you said you were pissed at halftime, for example.
Oh yeah, I mean, I come out of every game, especially here, like you can win a game by 48 points and not. I come out of it and be like a little pissed off because there's some things to clean up, you know. And I think for me, it's just, you know, it's not about beating Iowa necessarily. It's about beating, you know, Team Up North. It's about beating Oregon, and you know, how are we going to be able to beat those teams? You know, and can't make the mistakes that we made in the first half, obviously, but gotta learn from it.
Is that your favorite flavor of Gatorade?
Lemon lime is for sure. Lemon lime, not the concoction. But
all right, congrats on the win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, sneak out the door here where the Donato's Pizza is. Buckeyes back at home, back with the familiar pizza. We know after last week at Michigan State that's not their favorite. They've also got some Smoothie King. As we get started here on the notebook, talk to the quarterback. 35 points for the Buckeyes against Iowa. 28 of them come in the second half. Not the finest half of football that you're ever going to see to start a game for Ohio State. And Ohio State said right afterward, you got perfect headsets there. We're going to try and get Emeka after the triple ding-dong touchdown. The Nene? Okay. So 7-0 at halftime for Ohio State. Oh, it's television's Nicole Sheeran. Can you replace Adam King? He's not here this week. No, he's not here. Come here. This is the notebook. Who was your player of the game?
Emeka. Obviously, the guy right there.
Obviously?
Yeah.
Well, you had a lot of choices.
I know, but listen, can I explain my choice?
Absolutely you can.
I feel like every Buckeye fan, everyone has been waiting for Mech to have the game that he had tonight, or today.
You have been.
I have been. Yeah. I have. And he had it. I mean, those 2 catches were insane.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I mean, heck of a game.
Okay.
Seriously.
Defensive player of the game?
I'd go Jack.
Yeah. It's a pretty big forced fumble there.
Yeah, forced fumble. Nice forced fumble. I will say it was a slow start, and I wasn't really sure what the second half was going to look like. But then they kicked it into gear. They started getting their swagger back.
Yeah.
So,
Will Howard said he was pissed at halftime.
Wow.
So,
we had a
it's the strongest language that we've heard.
I was about to say, I don't know if we've heard that yet.
Okay.
So.
Wow, this is so much better than when we talked to Adam after the game. Wow.
I hope he's not watching this.
Oh, he'll definitely be watching. Don't forget about that. Thank you to Nicole.
Thanks, guys.
It's her debut on the notebook.
Love
He's going to be so mad. It's going to be great. Yeah. This guy's pretty good right here.
Emeka?
Yeah.
He's pretty good, huh?
I don't know.
I know you.
How's
it going?
When was the last time he scored 3 touchdowns?
I don't
remember.
As a Buckeye.
I don't remember that happening here.
No.
Can you tell me what it's like just to watch, a young man develop like this?
I mean, it's just who he is, you know?
You tell me, I asked him at Big Ten Media Days, what it's like to be good at everything.
Yeah.
How annoying it is to have somebody who you compete with that's good at everything.
Yeah. He can't ice skate.
No?
That's what he told us.
I can't.
That he can't ice skate.
I found the thing that he can't.
He said that you asked him that all the time because you've been watching him do all this stuff for years. It's not fair.
He's good at everything.
Yeah. All right. That's good.
I can't roller skate.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Should we get into the first quarter while Emeka and Will Howard are talking with 10 TV? Let's do that. It went very quickly. Iowa dominates the time of possession. Ohio State gets the ball, they score right away, and it feels like, oh, well, maybe that's just the way this is going to be. There had been concern about the point spread in this game shrinking. Oh, is there a bad injury information that's going to come out? No, it was really just about the tempo of the game, and I think you saw that when it's 7-0. Oh, well, maybe that's going to be the way that this goes out. But, when you get Emeka going. That was a tough catch, contested catch, play action touchdown, 7-0. Emeka really got them going. 3 catches and 26 yards on the opening drive, including that touchdown. He is just playing at such a high level right now, and it's fun to watch that, and it's dangerous, I think, for opponents. It's starting for Oregon next week to try and scheme and game plan against this team, because you have Jeremiah Smith on one side who could be playing one-handed at times, another one-handed touchdown, and then you just have Emeka, Egbuka running all over the field and doing a bunch of different things. It's impossible, I think, to account for what those guys do. But you noticed right away, Ohio State deferred. They're on defense first. You saw a different, I felt like a different mindset with Tyleik Williams out there for Ohio State. He blows up a play on the second snap. Davison Igbinosun stopped a running play early on. He was wagging his finger. You could tell that Ohio State was ready to set the tone with the Silver Bullets, and they did. Scoreless first half, scoreless into the third quarter, through the third quarter. Ohio State pulls away, give up the late touchdown, which, you know, kudos to Iowa, I guess, for continuing to try. But by that point, it was way too late. It was just such an interesting half. Ohio State in the second quarters dealing with the turnovers. They had Jeremiah Smith, uncharacteristic play there. He loses a fumble. Will Howard trying to dominate the middle 8 stretch there, throws an interception. And that was the part that the Buckeyes talked about afterwards, the things that they can clean up, need to clean up. You know, they immediately shifted their attention to Oregon and going to the game that I think almost everybody has circled as one of the, if not the marquee game in the Big Ten this year and nationally in college football. You cannot make those kinds of mistakes against a more talented team. Iowa's very good in its own right. You couldn't make them really against Iowa. Once they removed that, they were moving the football. They had 199 yards in the first half. They just weren't able to convert them into touchdowns. It's a benefit that Ohio State's defense has continued to play at the level that it does, where you know, they're going to hold almost everybody to 10 points or less. Maybe Oregon will be an exception to that. Hey, Quinn. We'll see. But this team is playing at such a high level defensively that it's allowed, I think, in some ways to need some time to find its footing or at least finish off drives. As I said, the rushing attack was operating at a high level. Will Howard started 10 for 10 again. He has quite a knack for getting the ball rolling. Emeka's done here.
EQ guys.
Emek, you have to grade the 3 touchdowns. Which one was the best?
I have no idea. I have to watch them. Like, when you're out there, I don't really have no idea what any of them look like, so I have to see if the catches were good or not.
You don't think they were good? I thought you were getting on the tablet right away. Like, let me see this highlight.
No, I don't like using the tablet during the game because I don't want to think about how I'm playing. I just want to play.
All right. Yeah. Everybody's been raving about these tablets, but now we know Emeka doesn't use it. Congrats, man. Great game.
Will.
All right, we won't interrupt that anymore. Special moment for the family, for the quarterback. Will Howard was wrapping up his press conference, or he was in the middle of it, and Emeka was leaving the room upstairs, and he says, "I love you, Will." And Will didn't see who it was. And I said, it was Mech. I said, "Oh, I love Mech too." It's special. You know, it's a family, it's a brotherhood, it's a bond. And you could tell how much Ohio State enjoyed that in the second half as they got going, because they want to be tested physically. This is a group of really high achievers. Yes, they would like to win every game comfortably and have blowouts, but you know that that's not the path to a normal championship. And they know that that's not going to get them any better in the long run if they just roll the helmet out every week. And the energy that they played with from the start, even though it was 7-0 at halftime, you know, they had another one of the Ryan Day pregame mosh pits. Like, it wasn't a matter of this team falling into a trap, looking ahead to Oregon, struggling to, I don't know, get motivated to play Iowa. They just had a couple mistakes and misfires that wound up, you know, keeping them from blowing out the Hawkeyes as quickly as they might have wanted to. But it goes back to, I don't think that should discredit the work that Iowa did. They had a good plan. They have good athletes. And I think it means something to Ohio State that they were able to respond to the physicality that Iowa wanted to play with and up the ante in some ways. I talked about Davison Igbinosun with a little bit of the trash talk early on. he gets the interception later on that it really helps put the game away. But you had Caden Curry getting into a little fisticuffs right before halftime as well. And I think I'll talk to Berm about this maybe on Snap Judgments, or maybe I already have. But there have been times where Ohio State has played a lackluster half or not quite handled its business the way it would have wanted to. And defensively, you can't say that when they're holding an opponent without any points, but they would have thought they'd be winning this game by more than 7. And sometimes they'll go up into the tunnel. It'll be really quiet. We've seen that in some of these games, against Michigan the last couple of years, and not enough people maybe raising their voice to get things done. You saw when Caden Curry was getting pulled apart from a brawl there, you could tell that this team was going to respond, I think, with its best work. We haven't been over here. It's a great idea by Berm. This is the visiting locker room. Iowa has some players here wrapping up. One player who I think maybe should have been in the other locker room right there, Xavier Wampa, but he's not. And there's nothing you can do about that in the middle of this season. Seeing if Jim Lachey had come down here to see Luke Lachey, who is a tremendous receiver, one of the guys who put a real thorn in the side for Ohio State tonight. But this is the look at the other side of these players and Iowa heading towards the bus after a physical game for them. Again, give them credit for the way that they played. They had a good plan. They had a good energy. Little Berm says hello there. Okay. So that takes us through halftime and right up to that whistle where I wouldn't have minded, I don't think, if Caden Curry got a personal foul or offsetting personal fouls with what was going on there. This team playing with a little bit of chippiness and walking up to the edge is good for them. I think in that situation it showed their mettle, that they were not going to be pushed around or worried, bothered, intimidated by what happened in the first half, and that their best was still going to be to come. And it was, because the third quarter was a reminder of what this team can do once it gets its footing, once it flips the switch, once it's locked in, once the turnovers are removed. And, it does help that number 4 is on their team. So second half did start with a little bit of a bizarre moment, in my opinion, on special teams, with Brandon Ennis taking a ball that was, 6 yards deep of the end zone for the kickoff. It was only returned to the 14. I was like, uh-oh, maybe they aren't as locked in as I thought they were going to be. Maybe they won't respond at quite the same level, but they run early. Quinshon Judkins with some really, I used another word in the notebook that I shouldn't show you. He is a bad, bad man, and he shakes off an Iowa tackler. Great broken tackle. He keys that drive, and then down in that corner of the end zone, Jeremiah Smith sticks out his right hand. To me, it looked like an entry pass, like Shaq was posted up, and he just had, just held the left hand there and then stuck it out, and it was like he was palming a basketball. So when it was Kobe, Will Howard was Kobe, and Jeremiah Smith was Shaq. A post-up touchdown. Then it's 14-0. He's done that 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Another touchdown for him.
That cornerback was playing high college football when he was in State.
And as Berm said throughout this week, we're talking about a 24-year-old grown man against an 18-year-old who's now played 5 college football games and is one of the best wide receivers in America. Again, I think Emeka belongs right in that conversation as well. He had 3 touchdowns. He's playing at a really high level. It's the combination of both of them that makes him so dangerous. Back to Carnell Tate. I could have won a lot of money if I had just walked up to the microphone and I'd said, hey, which one of you guys in the postgame wants to ask about Carnell Tate? And they'll put up their hand and I'll say, well, Carnell was available this week, but he was in an emergency situation. Didn't think he needed him, thought we'd rest him for 1 more week until he's 100%. I think I could have given everyone that quote. Like, that's the way the Buckeyes are handling it. Berm and I talked about that in the keys in the pregame. I don't think it's a tremendous surprise. We saw Carnell Tate going through pregame. Didn't look like he was noticeably hurt. It's the same way that Tyleik Williams was, a couple games ago before he returned and was absolutely dominant tonight. Talked about, Tyleik in the first quarter, but he, right after the Jeremiah Smith touchdown, Tyleik Williams goes out there, just absolutely blows up, destroys, detonates the Iowa offensive line. It spills Jack Sawyer to be able to get a clean shot at Cade McNamara, forces the fumble. The Buckeyes recover. Will Howard goes down and scores a rushing touchdown after that to make it 21-0. But I was walking with Jack up the tunnel over here after the game. It's like, man, that had to feel pretty good. But I was like, it's nice to have 91 back, right? And he said other words that I won't repeat on the notebook, but he said, that's the most impactful player in college football. And that may well be hyperbole, but you saw what the last 2 weeks on defense looked like for Ohio State, and compare that tonight against a really good offensive line, one of the best running backs in the country, and Caleb Johnson. Tyleik Williams is a game wrecker. There's no question about that. Is he the preeminent game wrecker? Maybe. Might be the best defensive tackle in America. But Ohio State is also loaded with some of the most impactful players in the country. Quinshon Judkins, Emeka Egbuka, all making big plays. Will Howard with a bounce back in the great second half. You saw it, I had speculated on weekend kickoff. Maybe Jermaine Matthews needed to get some reps and expand the rotation at corner. Davison Igbinosun makes the interception, was really good against the run. Like, these guys just continue to answer the bell and play at a super high level. And now, as they said, is the goal to beat Iowa? Is that the end of the season? No. They're 5-0. They win 35-7. And they said as soon as they leave this building on Saturday night, the focus immediately goes to Oregon. So that's what we're going to do. Ryan Day actually said they already started on Oregon. So that process is underway. Can't wait. It's going to be an awesome week ahead. And I think before we get there, we just learned a lot about Ohio State. You get moments of adversity. You get moments where your toughness and physicality are challenged. They checked boxes again. The offense, the defense. Again, we can nitpick the special teams if we want. There's still a little bit of room to grow there. But 35-7 against a team like this on a night when Alabama is doing whatever it's doing against Vanderbilt, you shouldn't take any of that for granted. And so the notebook won't. Thanks to Emeka Egbuka, Will Howard, Jeremy Birmingham for his awesome camera work again. Everybody else who was a part and appearing, Nicole on the notebook tonight. It's fun. I love doing this. I hope you enjoyed our full coverage from Ohio State beating Iowa 35-7. I'm Austin Ward. This has been the Notebook on the podcast. We'll see you later.